Hello, my name is Jeff. This is Castle Tillage, your home defense network. This is a topic that I haven't spoken to on a lot, but I do get comments on this certain aspect. And I made videos in the past about putting trinkets and jewelry and gizmos on your self-defense weapon. And in my point of view, what I always try to do is try to limit your neck over the guillotine, where I want to make you guys as safe as possible, where your narrative is going to be consistent with a person who is looking to defend themselves and not want to get into a use of force event. And part of what you can do with that, with all the jewelries and gizmos on your self-defense weapon, it may look to the jury, and again, what is the jury? It's largely a soccer mom's grandma and the chronically employed. If that grandma views your gun as a pretty little trinket, it could send her. We don't know what's going to grab her attention, those people's attention, but it can grab her attention against you that you are a reasonable sort of person. Now, again, I don't care if you change your grip. Okay, if it is from one style of grip to another black style of grip, I really don't have a problem with that. It is those little jewelries and trinkets that you change it into, where it is a herringbone, a herringbone, let's just say a whalebone grip that fits your gun, and you put on it and have some ornate stuff on there. It could be a problem. Now, this Jason Atwood, okay, I'm not really picking on him. Again, he is just the latest, and it's easier for me to grab onto. Okay, you lost any credibility you might have had when you said changing your grip is a bad idea. It makes you sound like a doomsday crier. Not even close. You know, stay on topic. Straw man arguments do not work on me, and they make you look like you're foolish with no credibility. First off, can you show me any case law that someone has been convicted because they had a trigger job? This is the crier wolf call. Arr, arr. Show me the proof. Show me a case law. Show me a case law where this one thing convicted anybody. Okay, Jason Atwood, show me any black and letter books that goes into the mind of the jury that the jury hung them because they had a modification on the gun. It doesn't exist. You need to take it, the jury needs to take it in the totality of the entire story, the entire breadth and scope of the entire situation, not just one little thing like putting a skull on the back plate of a Glock, okay? This just doesn't exist. So when trying to someone, this is common, show me case law, show me case law, show me case law. It is silly and asinine because it just doesn't exist for most 99.9% of the self-defense laws out there. It just does not exist. Oh, and then he goes on. Also, the case that you cite about the guy changing his gun sights. What was the outcome? Was he convicted? Actually, yes, he was convicted because the case had many warts, and this was just a battle cry of a piling on situation. The guy had completely, I forgot what the name is. It's been too long ago. I think that case was about 2.5 years ago when I read the transcript. And basically, what happened was the prosecutor had his expert witness up there about guns, and he was talking about the changing the sights on his gun. And the prosecutor turns to the expert and says, "Why would anybody put this type of sight on a gun?" The expert witness comes back and looks at him real seriously and says, I don't know if he looked at him. That's my thing. Looked at the jury and looked at them eye to eye and say, because it makes it easier to kill somebody. Then the guy also changed the magazine release. The prosecutor turns to the expert witness and says, "Why would anybody change a magazine release?" I'm picturing in my head the expert witness looks at every jury member in the eye, one by one and says because it makes it easier to change out the bullets to continually kill people. We don't know if that is going to move any of the jury members over. The prosecutor can say anything that he wants. Anything that he wants. But we don't know. If you control the narrative, if you find a gun that has the original manufacturer parts, this isn't going to be an issue whatsoever. And his other thing is I have an accomplished attorney in the family who was a prosecutor who says as long as you don't modify your gun to work outside the manufacturing specs or put stupid stuff like smile, wait for flash, okay? Now, he's already conceded that putting certain things on your gun is stupid, okay? My line is just a little bit different to make your narrative even safer, to get you kicked out of the legal machine as quick as possible. He's already conceded that putting some kind of jewelry and trinket on your gun, like a phrase, is stupid. So why isn't, move that line a little bit more, Jason, why isn't putting shiny, flashy little gizmos and gadgets on it the same thing, the same narrative? But let's move back a little bit. Why do you think his family, his accomplished attorney in the family, who was a prosecutor, said that as long as you don't modify outside the manufacturing specs, those go to that generally goes to two separate topics: safeties and pull weights on triggers or modifying triggers in some fashion. Let's talk about safeties first. No, I changed my line. I'm just going to combine them together. The reason why he is saying this, and this is abundantly true, because this opens you up a possible accidental shooting. If your trigger weight is lower, any reasonable person is going to say that you have a greater possibility of an accidental shooting. Same thing goes with the safety. No reasonable person is going to tell me that modifying your trigger lower and taking the safeties off is going to make your gun more likely to go bang in an accident situation. There was a case down in Trumbull, Texas, where a police officer had his service Glock, and it was modified. He pulled somebody over. It was a robbery suspect. It didn't turn out to be the robbers. They were just in a similar kind of a car. He gets out of the car. He doesn't fully stop his squad car. He gets out of his car with his gun in his hand. His door hits his hand. The gun goes bang. Now let's put that kind of a scenario in the civil world. If your gun accidentally goes off, the jury will never, and I can't express you guys enough, if it is an accidental shooting, or even if the prosecutor can get that narrative going to the judge will never allow the jury to hear self-defense. Because an accidental shooting is an intentional act of negligence, where self-defense is the purposeful pulling of the trigger. That is why Jason Atwood's family prosecutor, once was a prosecutor, told him that. I wholly agree. But that's not the topic that we're talking about. You're opening yourself up to greater legal liability with the modification of safeties and lowering your trigger. There's going to be people beyond out there that says, Jeff, you're wrong, and that's fine. Just as long as you know that you're opening yourself up to a narrative of a person who wants to get into a use of force event, or it was an accidental shooting. That's what we really need to discuss. So you can be like Kyle Sweet. Kyle Sweet is one of the lead national attorneys for CCW Safe. He doesn't want any jewelries and trinkets on it because you don't know if that soccer mom, grandma, or the chronically unemployed is going to view that pretty little gun with a bunch of little gizmos and trinkets and sayings on it as a negative issue. And that's why Kyle Sweet, who defends people every day, we don't know what kind of prosecutor he was. He could have been in traffic court. I don't know. I don't know what kind of cases he does. I just don't. But you have to look at Andrew Branca. He is in the same boat as Jason Atwood's family friend. Everything, he's not concerned about colors. That's fine. Andrew Branca does an extraordinarily good job. I just go a little bit safer, but he does say this. Andrew does say this. There are plenty of different gun manufacturers out there. Go find a gun where the trigger and everything on it is to your liking and your satisfaction, where you don't have to modify anything. Why does he say that? Even though he's not against having all these different colors and gizmos on it, why does he say that to you? To limit your liability and hopefully you won't give up your narrative to a soccer mom. My name is Jeff. This is Castle Tuileries, your home defense network. I hope this helped.